One of the biggest issues in America are not social issues, but a wealth gap. And this is something we talk about all the time on the O Show, everything crypto, every single day. So make sure you guys like this video, drop a comment after you've watched the entire thing, because this thing that the House just passed, the House bill about retail and accredited investors, is incredibly important. Also subscribe and set alerts so you don't miss anything. But the issues in America are not really social issues. A lot of it is a wealth gap. And what is a wealth gap and what does that mean? So basically when you have this big gap to where there's super rich people and then everybody else, it causes problems. Because when people have access to money or opportunities to make money, then they have access to better products and services. And once they get that, then they have a better quality life, and then they stop bickering about a lot of other stuff. Yes, social issues in America still do work, but news just broke from CNBC. House bill would expand the pool of people who can buy certain investments if they can pass an SEC test. And this is something I've been screaming for. I've been screaming for the removal of the accredited investor law. Accredited investor law is predatory. Basically, if you don't have 200,000 for individuals or 300,000 for married couples that you make annually, you cannot qualify as a accredited investor, and you have to have over $1 million in assets, which most people don't have access to that because times are rough right now. But basically, when you're an accredited investor, you have access to different traditional financial instruments or products, etc., that regular people don't. And they don't do it on a knowledge basis. They do it on wealth, which makes no sense, because you might be somebody that is dumb as a rock, but you inherited a bunch of money, so you're able to invest and then lose everything. So if anything, this brand new test or this bill, if it gets passed, which it hasn't get passed, so you guys need to write to all your people and say we need this passed, would actually open up the door for people who like to self-educate, utilize critical thinking, to have access to a lot of the same financial products and instruments that the wealthy do. So a little bit about this bill here and what's going on. The House passed the Equal Opportunity for All Investors Act, which allows people to qualify as accredited investors by passing an SEC test instead of meeting wealth and income limits. Aims to expand access to private markets, VC, pre-IPO, hedge funds for investors. And you can't do that now because the public servants think you're poor and stupid, which makes absolutely no sense. If anything, it's really predatory. But a test is good. Personally, I think that they should abolish it just because of, sorry guys, my nose is itchy. Personally, I think that they should abolish it considering the current state of America. Like, you can buy all these other things. Like where I grew up, there was a liquor store on, like 3 liquor stores literally a block away that you can buy lottery tickets and scratchers, but I digress. Anyways, the test will measure knowledge of private markets, risk, liquidity, financial statements. Cool. Those are basic things that we should know anyway. So yeah. And the goal is to unlock more funding for startups while protecting consumers, which is great. And I honestly think this would not have happened if crypto wasn't so adopted already, because in crypto, we could already do all these things, but on the blockchain, it's a little bit of a different world. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to have access to the same privileges as other people if we can show that we are mentally competent. And again, if you are a small business in America, sorry, I keep getting hair everywhere. You can't get a loan from a bank. You literally just cannot. I actually, when I used to work in West Hollywood, one of the guys, one of my clients, he opened a coffee shop. I was like, how'd you do that? He's like, I had to borrow money from friends and family. Well, what happens if your friends and family don't have money? You just don't have access to capital. So if anything, this is good moving forward. People should be able to do what they want to do with their money, just as long as they're competent. I know some people are like, well, Wendy, what about competency in the test and whatever? Hey, that's a compromise there. So anything, I think that this is personally a win. It is not law yet. It still has to go through a lot of things, but you should write to your public servants and demand that this gets approved, because accredited investor law is absolutely predatory. We shouldn't have it. Just a basic competency test. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.